friends, it's Aubrey. Today's video is part 2 of my 2-week clean out the freezer, fridge, and pantry meal plan. I am seeing how many dinners we can make just using the things that I already have in my kitchen. If you missed last week's video, I will have that linked here for you and down below in the comments. And if this interests you, hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you here. I do a pantry cooking video at least once a month. It's just a good way to make sure we're not wasting any food. And let's get into it. It's day 8. We had a super late lunch, so I'm just gonna make some meatballs and rice with this teriyaki sauce that I had in my fridge. We're just gonna heat it all up. Should take no longer than like 20 minutes, and that will be dinner tonight. I was able to get another bag out of my freezer. Woo! This is probably the easiest dinner I have made in a while. I'm just gonna heat this up, serve it over some rice. We don't have any veggies, so we'll probably just have some fruit on the side, and that is dinner for tonight. Here's the completed dish. Seriously, so easy. I like having meals like this on hand to make when things are super crazy. For tonight's dinner, my husband and I made some roast and mashed potatoes. My husband is kind of the meat connoisseur of our family, so he just went ahead and seasoned the roast with some salt and then got it browning on each side, added in some broth and additional seasonings, and then we closed it up and put it on manual pressure for about 40 minutes. I'll go ahead and leave a good recipe link down below if you're wondering what spices might be good on a roast. And then I made the mashed potatoes. We had some potatoes that were looking a little old, so we cleaned those up really well, got them chopped, and then started boiling them. After about 25 or so minutes, the potatoes were done, drained those off, got some butter melting, added the potatoes back in, added some milk. Sometimes I like to add cream, but we didn't have any, and then I added some salt and pepper and just got those stirred around and mashed. After the roast naturally released for about 15 minutes, we went ahead and released the rest of the steam, and the roast turned out beautifully. We used some of the broth that was in the bottom of the Instant Pot and a cornstarch slurry to make some gravy to go on the mashed potatoes. We love roast in our family. Hopefully, you'll try this one out. For tonight's dinner, we are having meatball subs. We had this a few weeks ago and I made a video about it, but this one is a really quick and easy dinner idea for your family. We just heated up the meatballs and the spaghetti sauce that were in the freezer. Also got my bread thawed out, which was also in the freezer, and we had some cheese that needed to get used. We heated the meatballs and the sauce together, put some cheese on top, put it on the bread, popped it in the air fryer for a few minutes, and had a super quick and tasty dinner. It's day 11, and tonight we are having some Korean beef bowls from damndelicious.net. I will link the recipe down below. We also had some veggies in the freezer that needed to get used as well. So to make the sauce, you're going to do a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, a 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 2 teaspoons of sesame oil, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, and 3 cloves of garlic. I like to use the squeezy tube ginger in mine, and I leave out the crushed red pepper flakes because we're kind of spice wimps here. So once that is all stirred together, you'll pour it over your cooked ground beef and just stir it together until the sauce thickens up a little bit. And after your rice is done cooking, you can just top that. I had some veggies that needed to get used up as well, so I just cooked those in the remaining sauce and with some oil, just following the instructions that were on the package, and then plated this up. Super tasty, and because my ground beef was already pre-cooked, it came together so fast. So this isn't a dinner, obviously. It's just ground beef, but I've had these in my fridge for like a week and a half, so towards the beginning of this challenge, or actually right before I started it, they're like in the safety packs that last a lot longer than when they pack it regularly. But anyways, we are going to take these 3 pounds of ground beef that I got for $2.77 each and cook them up, put them in the freezer. That way dinners will be a lot quicker and easier. We can just pull out the pre-portioned baggies. Let's get that cooking. This is one of my kitchen must-haves if you make a lot of ground meats. It just helps break it up. I'll have this one linked below for you. This thing has changed my life. Now that my beef is a little bit broken up, I'm going to season it with the Worcestershire sauce, some onion powder, garlic powder, salt, and pepper, and it will be so good. I will show you when we're done. I always just eyeball my seasonings until it looks right, and then if it needs more at the end, I'll taste it once it's cooked and then add more if necessary. That's what it looks like right now. We'll just drain off this fat, put it in some bags once it's cooled, and then we'll pop it in the freezer. Here is the ground beef all packaged up. I'm just gonna throw it inside of a freezer bag, but what I like to do with these is just pull them out, either thaw them on the counter or pop them in the microwave, dump it into a glass bowl, that kind of thing, to heat it up, or heat it up on the stove. And these make dinner time come together so much faster. For day 12's dinner, we had chicken and risotto from the freezer. I had my chicken breasts thawed out and I cut them so that way the fillets would be a little bit thinner. Put this in a sprayed baking dish and seasoned it with some salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and paprika. You can mix up the spices if you like. And then I added a tablespoon of melted butter on top. I covered this up and put it into the oven at 450 degrees for about 12 to 15 minutes, and I just temped it to make sure that it was at 165 degrees. While the chicken cooked, I made my favorite risotto from Trader Joe's. If you have not tried this one out, you definitely need to. It is so delicious and so easy. This came together really quick. We love dinners like this. They're minimal cleanup and crowd pleasing. We finished off the night with my favorite strawberry shortcake. It was left over from my birthday this week. Tonight we are making some sandwiches with our leftover beef. We're gonna cook some of these sweet potato fries. We had buns in the freezer. We're gonna use half of this onion to make some nice sauteed onions. And then we have 2 bags of mozzarella in the fridge that need to get used up. Let's start cooking. I got a pan heated up and threw in a tablespoon of butter and my chopped onions. And while that was sauteing together, I got the sandwiches assembled with the cheese, the meat, and then topped it with the onions. Put it in the oven at 450 degrees for about 3 minutes just to get everything nice and crispy. This was super delicious, and we had those amazing sweet potato fries as well. Day 14, and we are having Instant Pot Panang Curry with chicken. I had some coconut milk and the Panang curry paste in my freezer, so I had those thawing in the fridge the day before. They weren't fully thawed, so we put it on warm with the Instant Pot while we added the other ingredients like our chopped onion and chicken. I also added a teaspoon of coriander and a half teaspoon of cumin to the pot, as well as about 5 small potatoes chopped. You can definitely add whatever veggies you like. Sometimes we'll add peppers or green beans. While everything was cooking in the Instant Pot for 5 minutes on manual pressure, I combined the 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, about half of a juiced lime, 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, and just got that mixed together so that way we could dump it in the pot once it was done cooking. I served this over rice with some garlic naan. This is our favorite curry recipe. You've got to try it out. Here is what the freezer is looking at like at the end of the challenge. I know it doesn't look like I made that much of a difference. I mean, I did buy some things like this and some more cheese while the challenge was going on. Same with the bread back there. So there is some things that were added, but I actually have space. Like, I can put stuff in here now. It's great. So if you are feeling overwhelmed by your food and how much you have and how much you need to store, definitely try out a pantry or freezer cooking challenge to see how much you can get through. That way you don't waste anything and you're not wasting that money. But that is what it's looking like. So much better. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, please give this video a like and leave me a comment down below with some of your favorite pantry staple meals. I would love to try them out, and I hope you have the best rest of your day. Bye!